Okay, let's begin, shall we?
Yeah, let's. This is episode 10, take 2.
Yeah, we had a bit of a problem with the episode that we recorded last night. We recorded on Wednesday and then found that because Jack was drunk and I was tired, it was a terrible podcast. So we decided not to bother with it, and we'll record again today, which is Thursday. So what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to start with that motion.
Yeah, we're going to start with the motion of some members of Young Labour.
It's fun internal Labour Party politics time.
Yeah, some members of Young Labour, I think the chair of Labour Students and the chair of Young Labour have decided to sign an open letter in favour of a motion which is going around the constituency Labour parties, or CLPs, to allow Labour members a vote at conference on the idea of a second EU referendum.
Yeah.
Now, the problems with this are that, well, for a start, this open letter sort of, or at least the way that the chair of Labour Students and Young Labour have signed this open letter sort of implies that they are representing all 100,000 plus members of these groups.
Yeah.
With their own views, which is ridiculous, because of course not everybody in those groups is going to agree on this issue.
For example, we don't.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this petition. I don't think that we need to have another second referendum on it.
No.
I don't think that Labour voters should really, or Labour members really should need to have another say on it, because, I mean, although we weren't old enough to vote in the EU referendum, and we both would have voted Remain.
Yeah, like I say, I campaigned for Remain.
Yeah.
You were kind of furiously apathetic, as I understand it.
But aggressively apathetic about it, because I just could not have cared less. By, like, a couple of weeks into the campaign, both of the campaigns were shocking.
Yeah.
So I just switched off.
I say this as part of one of the campaigns.
Like, the Leave campaign was just full of ridiculous lies and stereotypical racism. The Remain campaign was David Cameron trying not to be yelled at by people with lots of piercings that he didn't seem to like very much.
And a kind of half-arsed Jeremy Corbyn
who wasn't actually that interested in the campaign, because he was nominally Remain, but everybody knows that he wants to leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
but the thing
petition,
is, we did it. We did the referendum. We've done it. It's over.
It's over, and I'm sick of it, so can we please not bring it up again? Yeah, I'm not saying, by the way, that these people need to just sort of leave their views behind and shut up about it forever.
No.
If they want to talk about it, if they want to campaign for it, then sure. But it's not an internal Labour Party thing, so don't try and make it one.
No. We're trying to be less factional, because factionalism isn't fun.
No, like
I don't like.
I do enjoy sometimes when some factional things come up which are amusing.
I mean, like, sometimes it can be fun.
Sometimes it can be fun, but like
when
this time it's just tedious.
Like when we're having a bit of a joke, and you know,
and I'm just like, haha, Blairites are all boring, or haha, we won 3 elections, how many of you won?
Yeah,
haha. That sort of thing. That
quite
can
fun.
Be fun. It's a little bit of banter. It's amusing, but now this is just tedious, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going around. I think really, like, if nothing else, my issue isn't that we're debating this motion. My issue was more in the language that the chairs have used.
Yeah, because it did sound like they were trying to be all high and mighty, like, it's our mandate that we get to say, alright, we're going to reverse this decision basically all by ourselves. I just think it sounds, like, really hubristic of them. Like, I know they probably don't mean it to sound that way. But
no.
It still sounds a bit arrogant. Like, our mandate is the mandate that matters here. I've seen a couple of tweets trying to defend them, saying, "Oh, I guess respect the mandate only matters when it's Corbyn, eh?" No, the thing is, A, Corbyn's mandate is much bigger than either of these two people, and B, the biggest mandate of all in this is the vote leave mandate.
Yeah.
They got way more votes than this, and yeah, I know, it's obvious that a lot of people who voted in these Labour students' elections and Young Labour elections couldn't vote in Vote Leave election in the
EU referendum
and vice versa. But it's still a pretty big mandate, and Labour students alone is not enough to change that.
No.
And the Labour Party alone isn't enough to change that. This is not an internal Labour Party issue, and it's foolish to make it one. Yeah, okay. The other thing that I wanted to talk about...
it's that horrible CLP, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's backtrack a little bit to...
Let's context.
Heidi Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
The Labour MP for Lewisham East until recently. She decided to resign from the House of Commons because, well, you can't technically resign from the House of Commons.
There's a video on that somewhere, isn't there?
She was appointed to the Master of the Rolls for the Chiltern Hundreds or something like that.
Yeah, there's a video on...
It's on screens.
Who did that video?
It's Tom Scott.
Oh, is it Tom Scott one?
Yeah.
We'll link that, because it's quite fun, actually.
That'll be somewhere in the description. But yeah, she has left Parliament and decided to do things that she finds more enjoyable.
There's probably a long list of things that someone would find more enjoyable.
I would assume that sitting on a pine cone would be more enjoyable than being in Parliament at this point. But yeah, her resignation has caused, of course, a by-election, and the Labour selection for that by-election was quite recently done. Mm-hmm. It was won by, and I'm sorry for the factionalism that's about to ensue here, I'll try and keep it to a minimum.
We'll work on that.
It was won by a woman called Janet Davey. Every single candidate, incidentally, in this by-election selection process for Labour was a black Asian or minority ethnic woman.
Great.
Which is fairly good for diversity. Well, it's not that good for diversity, is it? Considering everyone was from the same background, but I
mean, it's good for more representation of that community.
Yeah, that's probably a better way of wording it. So the selection was won by Janet Davey, who is a Labour moderate. Let's go with moderate.
Was she backed by Progress?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really know who they were backed by, but I know
she's on that side.
The candidate that I saw was backed by Momentum and Owen Jones and people like that. Didn't win.
Right.
The reason that was given for that by those people that backed the Momentum candidate, they said that it was just because the left-wingers didn't turn out to vote enough.
Fair.
So the selection process was won by Janet Davey, and after that, a bunch of people got really annoyed and started digging into the Lewisham East CLP. In fact, they might have just been digging in there anyway, because
just generally,
just to find an article to write on it.
People just will do this.
People looked at Lewisham East, thought, "Oh, it's in the news. I'll see what I can find about it."
Yeah.
And they found that the chair of Lewisham East CLP, who's a man called Ian Mackenzie, had tweeted some pretty awful things.
Very, very questionable.
As in,
I can't remember the tweet off the top of my head.
Well, it's on screen now.
It is.
Well, there's a couple of
words to the effect of.
There's a couple of tweets. One of them was a conversation on Twitter that he had with somebody else about ISIS, and that is the one that a lot of Labour moderates have been trying to defend. I've seen that from people like Luke Akehurst, and some sort of centrist-y journalists and MPs. Yeah, they've been trying to defend that one, but I haven't seen nearly as much defence of the other one, which was a standalone tweet.
Was this the Emily Thornberry one?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was about Emily Thornberry being too old for ISIS to use her as a sex slave, and that they would just kill her instead. Now,
this is questionable. So first, we should probably mention he has been suspended.
He has been suspended for this tweet, obviously, because that's a horrible thing to say.
That is. There are so many issues with that tweet.
Like, it's wrong on every level.
It's sexist.
Also Islamophobic.
And also generally quite horrible.
It's just sort of mean.
And
it's just mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find any way to really defend that tweet. No. And I'm glad that he's been suspended, and I hope that in time that he will be either expelled or be forced to resign.
I mean, I'd prefer the first option, given recent events with Ken Livingstone.
Well, yeah, I wish he'd been expelled as well, but I can't really help the fact that he resigned before that was possible.
But, I prefer when people who have done these horrible things are expelled rather than being given the chance to.
Yeah, there was
to resign.
A scene in The West Wing. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers for The West Wing, which I haven't seen.
Where one of the president's advisors does something really wrong, and he tries to hand in his resignation, but the president says, "I can't accept that. I have to fire you."
Right, for public image.
For public image, and just because they broke the law.
Yeah.
And the president couldn't be seen with that sort of image. I might watch The West Wing again. It's a great show.
I haven't seen it.
You should watch it.
I've seen a bit of it because I did a monologue from it for my A-level drama.
Oh, which is that? Who was it?
It was President Bartlett's big homosexual speech.
Oh, that was a great one.
Where he's like, yeah, well, the Bible says all this about,
I love that. I love that speech.
So I did that for A-level drama and got a distinction star, so thank you to The West Wing for that.
Distinction in an A-level?
Distinction star.
Is that how it works?
It was a BTEC.
That's why. Yeah, because it wasn't an A-level.
Because it wasn't. It's an A-level equivalent, which is worth just as much as an A-level. Fight me.
I know that it's worth just as much as an A-level, but it isn't one.
Fight me.
Just like, a fedora does exactly the same job as a bowler hat, but it isn't one.
He says, staring at my fedora.
Yeah, that's what gave me the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've run out of things to say.
So in summary, we're gonna have Brexit. Let's just accept that.
There's not much we can really do about that now, because there's not enough support in the country for a second referendum. There's not enough support in the Labour Party to force a second referendum on the whole country.
Labour constituencies, Labour voters voted leave.
Yeah, like my home,
like
and
my
your
home,
and the homes of most
you will struggle to find a town.
You'll struggle to find a small town that voted Remain. Like St Helens did. St Helens voted Leave. Wigan voted Leave.
Blackpool voted Leave.
Blackpool Leave. Everywhere in the northeast, basically, apart from Newcastle, voted Leave.
Like the big cities, your Newcastles, Liverpools, Manchester. Yeah, they voted Remain, but
those are not a majority of Labour constituencies. I don't think.
No.
Like most of the Labour that I know and the Labour that I'm familiar with isn't the metropolitan liberal elite Labour of Islington and
hard
Streatham.
Working class.
It's the Boltons and the Burnleys and the Blackburns. It's the towns of people that have been badly hit by poor economic conditions and bad working conditions. Over the period of time in which the European Union has been in force, and that's what these people have collated together into their view of vote leave, despite the fact that maybe the European Union wasn't the cause of those bad conditions. Maybe it was a horrible conservative right-wing government.
But I mean, to borrow a quote from our esteemed Prime Minister, Brexit means Brexit, and it's going to happen, and we're not going to stop it. We shouldn't try to stop it. We should be.
Well, no, we should try and.
Make a good.
Make it
good. Make it work for. Yeah, make it work.
Make it work for the people that voted for it and the people whose families voted for it.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that we really need to help in this situation, not the bank accounts of the wealthy people in London and Manchester and Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people who voted Leave.
For a better future for themselves, and we need to give them that.
For themselves, for their children, for their grandchildren.
Yeah.
Those are the people that matter most to me, because those are the people that I know and that I grew up with.
Yeah, same here. So yeah, in summary, Brexit means Brexit, and horrible people deserve to be expelled and exterminated from the Labour Party.
Exterminated?
I'm just going full Dalek.
You're going to go up to Ken Livingstone with a blaster gun?
I would love to go up to Ken
Livingstone. A sonic screwdriver and shove it up his nose.
Nose wouldn't be my first preference.
We'll leave it there. Next time will probably not be next week, but the week after.
Maybe,
depending on news and how bothered we can be to get some procrastination done instead of revision.
Yeah, but I mean, because the thing is, exams have started. Mine was yesterday. First one.
My first one is next week.
Yeah, so we're both going to be kind of in hard revision mode, so episodes are probably going to go back to 2 weeks, unless there is some massive event in the next 7 days that we both feel we need to talk about. So assuming that doesn't happen,
the schedule's going to be patchy, isn't it?
It's going to be patchy. Like hell, there could even be a 3-week period.
Yeah, well, we don't know. We'll see.
So assuming Theresa May doesn't resign within the next 7 days, we will talk to you again probably in 2 weeks. Until then, I've been Jack.
And I've been Alex. We will talk to you again next time.
You've been listening to the Misled Youth podcast, and we will talk to you again probably in 2 weeks.